Chapter 9 Manifestation Protocols for Completely Dissolving the Past. As we move through our physical life experience, what we have picked up through our physical trail can often lead to resistance and obstacles that prevent us from moving forward. These resistances come in various forms, from the obvious to the subtle. For example, our past failures and negative experiences may cause us to feel discouraged or hopeless when thinking about the future. Or events may have happened or words may have been said that weigh us down. When you multiply these countless events, no matter how trivial, by the number of physical years we have lived, these past events can have a considerable impact on our future manifestations. As I touched on in the previous chapter, the best way to deal with the past is to completely let it go. By this, I do not mean going through the lengthy and drawn-out process to forgive those who have wronged us or hope that they will somehow think of us differently. Neither does it mean asking for forgiveness from all those we have wronged in the past. You can let go of the past in this very moment by merely using not mind to dissolve the cumulative adverse effects of everything that has happened in the past. By disconnecting your past experiences from your now and future, you eliminate the possibility of them sabotaging your future manifestations. More importantly, you create a different future for yourself instead of manifesting your past fears and unwanted experiences. Not mind extends far beyond our own physical minds and knows no boundaries. Another way of saying that the nature of life is infinite is to say that not mind's nature is all-encompassing and limitless. There is no beginning and no end. There is no center. There is just something right here and now. From the perspective of not mind, physical time does not exist. Thus, there is not even the concept of linear time to speak of. Everything happens in the here and now. When we introduce the mind into the picture and use it to organize our lives, the concept of a timeline, a past, present, and future emerges. The past weighs us down more and more if we do not become aware of this. The answer is simple. Just use not mind to dissolve the past's negative effects to ensure that they no longer connect with our now and the future. But what about the positive and useful experiences? Don't we want to keep them and use them to motivate us? Using not mind to dissolve the past does not mean losing our memory. It does not mean that we will forget everything that has happened to us, although that isn't a bad thing at all. As I covered in my previous book, Instantly Directed Manifestations, you want to be thoughtless and mindless as much as possible. In other words, use your mind as little as possible and only when you need to. For the rest of the time, there is no need to hold on to your man-made, self-created identity. I am often mindless for most of the day. As I go about my daily life, my personal identity is not at the forefront of my awareness. There is always the primary awareness that I exist and that I am aware. Other than that, there's very little use in holding on to my past or telling the story of my past. Try living this way, and you will be pleasantly surprised by the transformation that takes place. I have seen colleagues that walk around with the weight of their professional identities and educational qualifications on their shoulders, so much so that it affects their physical posture. These individuals are usually hunched or rolled forward, carrying around an artificial identity concocted by the mind. If they had the insight to just let go of that identity for even a few minutes, they would realize that they function totally fine without it. They have always been free. Again, we make a distinction here between not being weighed down by your past and the inability to remember your past. You will still remember your past and pinpoint specific events if necessary, but you will find yourself just talking about them like a natural observer. Past events and encounters no longer have an effect on you and into the future. Forget about learning any lessons from them. The universe is not here to teach you any lessons. Let go of the belief that you need to retain these lessons to progress in life. Instead, just use not mind to completely disconnect the past from your future manifestations. It does not matter what you are dealing with or how badly you have been wronged in the past. You may think that someone owes you big time, and chances are the person doesn't feel the same way. Otherwise, he or she would have made it up to you. Even if the other party acknowledges that he has wronged you, the emotion of guilt keeps everyone in this relationship dynamic trapped. We want to completely eliminate any emotions that keep us trapped and move forward into our future manifestations free from the baggage of the past. Being free from past baggage means being fully open to whatever happens in the present moment. When you invoke the protocol to dissolve your past with not mind, you will find yourself having fewer and fewer questions or thoughts about the past. You will find that while you still can recall past events, their emotional charge and negative effect on your mind, body, and spirit will be eliminated. Does this mean that you will repeat the mistakes of the past? Absolutely not. On the contrary, since you have disconnected from the very circumstances that led to those events in the first place, you are less likely to create them again in the future. This is the power of completely disconnecting from your past without any questions or doubts about the process. You will find yourself living free and clear in the present moment without any interference from past events. Let all of that go right now. There is no need to analyze every past event that happened to you or look for a specific trigger of something. When we use not mind to dissolve all negative effects from past events and encounters, we invoke a process beyond the mind. Only the mind needs to rationalize and convince itself that something has happened. Since we are not using the mind, no beliefs are necessary for the process. We just invoke the process and deal with it instantly. How do you know that a change has occurred then? The simplest way is to observe what comes up in the days and weeks following this protocol. You will find a difference in your inner state. Instead of constantly mulling over the past and worried about past failures, you will find yourself more future-oriented. You will find yourself acting more in the now. When you apply the appropriate protocols for dealing with each step of the manifestation sequence, then the right answers naturally show up in your life. An energetic correction does not involve a time lag. It happens instantly when you apply it. Do you experience a delay when you hold an intention in your awareness and when the universe responds with related thoughts or feelings in your inner state? The universal response to your directed intention is instantaneous. This illustrates the spontaneous nature of the universe and the nature of our physical reality. Similarly, anytime you invoke not mind for something, the directed energy flows there and is applied immediately. Realize that manifestations are a series of properly directed intentions, one after another. When you direct your intentions in the proper order and sequence towards the right aspects, then what you ask for enters your life very quickly. When your intentions are scattered, diffused, or conflicting, then what you ask for may not appear in your life at all because you are not even consistent in your asking. Your job is to choose where to apply the energy, and the rest will follow. Your job is certainly not to worry about how to make the universe respond to your energy. The response is always there and automatic. Reset the clock each day and start with a clean, fresh slate. I like to reset the clock every morning, but why not take that even further and refresh the clock every moment? Start every moment, new and afresh, with no influence from the past and no thought of the future. Let us use not mind to reset everything and start from a clean state of not mind. You can even put in an intention to be continuously refreshed every single millisecond. In that way, anything that has happened to you, even a few seconds again, has no power to affect you. External events and encounters with other people have no effect on you. They are always being erased and taken care of by not mind. What a fantastic way to live. You no longer move through life being afraid of anything or anyone. You find yourself no longer needing to manage other people's impressions of you or worried about whether you made the right impression at the meeting that just ended. You want to refresh, reset, and restart every second of the day. Doing so greatly increases your manifestation abilities. Because the past no longer occupies your consciousness, it is freed up for the present moment and your new creative endeavors. The nature of life is creative, fresh, and always new. So let us start by dying to life in every moment. If this phrase sounds too morbid to you, then let us live by being fully fresh in every moment. When you live this way, nothing that happens to you will ever matter. You no longer have to spend energy pushing things away from you. Even if they occur, they will not have a lasting effect on you. No matter how dire they appear to others, the effect of external circumstances and events will be no more than a few seconds. This is the perfect way to live. I used to spend months or even years fuming over an unpleasant encounter and replaying it over and over again in my mind. The mind loves to do that because it believes that doing so will somehow make things right or change others. Now I use not mind to refresh myself and completely drop the past. Even things that happened a few seconds ago become a part of history. Ever since I started living in this way, I have had none of these unpleasant encounters that I seem to attract. When you use not mind to break free of your bonds with the past, these events that had the most impact on you no longer have any power over you. They are gone from your life, now and in the future. Even if you do re-encounter them, their unpleasant effects will last no more than a few seconds. This does not mean that you become a pushover. If something needs to be dealt with rationally and logically, actions will be taken and words will be said. Instead of being passive-aggressive or allowing something to stew for hours on end, I find myself completely open and honest with the parties I deal with. I bring a new level of love and light to our conversations by letting them know my views. In turn, they can respond accordingly, although their response no longer has any residual effect on me. I deal with the situation at hand and then move on, fresh into the next moment. The art of manifestation is a practical science. When we are not manifesting, we are living life and moving through our physical world. These protocols can be used to create your desired manifestations and manage your relationships and physical encounters. When you use not mind to start afresh in every moment, the universe yields to you in the most magical ways possible.